You are welcome back from break. Let's continue from where we stopped. Now we come to another important aspect of number basis, which is addition of number bases. We want to consider this example 1 for proper explanation. It is better to explain this with examples. Example 1a. Before I start, I want to sign this note of warning that when you are dealing with addition, even subtraction, when we get there, take note of this, that when you are operating in base 2, none of the digits of your numbers should be up to your base. As in, now we have base 2. We should not find any digit in your numbers that will be up to 2, let alone being greater than 2. If you are operating in base 3, the highest digit you should have in the numbers you are dealing with should be 2. If you are operating in base 4, the highest digit you should be dealing with should be 3. If you are operating in base 5, the highest digit should be 4 that you are dealing with. That is why here that we are dealing with base 2 in this example 1. You can see that the highest digit we have is 1. We are dealing with 1 and 0 for binary. Do we understand? Now, let's add. 1 plus 1, that gives 2. We cannot write the 2 down because it will be equal to the base. Therefore, you will ask yourself a simple question. That 1 plus 1, that is 2. How many times can you have your base in that 2? That is 1 time. 2 in 2 is 1. Remainder 0. I don't know whether you understand. Let me re-explain. 1 plus 1 gives 2. You cannot write the 2 down. You now ask yourself, how many times do you have your base in that 2? Is 1 time. Remainder what? Remainder 0. So this 1 time that I circle, add it to this 0. Bring it here and add it. It will become 1. Plus this 1 down here, it becomes 2. You cannot still write the 2 down. You say, your base in the 2. Your base is 2. 2 in 2, 1 still. Remainder what? Remainder 0. The one you carry again, add it here. 1 to 1 is 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. You cannot still write down the 2. The base divides the 2, that's 1. Remainder 0. Add that 1 as well here, making 3. How many times do we have your base in 3? That is 1 time. Remainder what? Remainder 1. So this 1 time we carry, we bring it to the back here. Since there is nothing here to operate it with, you bring it to the back here, and that is the answer. So the answer is 11000 base 2, and that is that. Let's go to question B, 1b. Your result will be in base 2. 0 plus 1 is 1. We can write it down because it is not up to our base. 1 plus 1 is 2. We cannot write it down because it is already competing with the base. So, how many times do we have the base in the 2? So, it's 1. Remainder 0. So, this one that we carry, that I circle, add it to 1 here, making 2. To this one, making 3. How many times do we have 2 in 3? 1 time. Remainder 1. Do we understand? That is 2 in 3 is 1. Remainder 1. So this one we carry. Add it to this 0, making 1. So you write it straight. This one, write it straight. We are writing them straight because they are not up to the base. And that is the answer. The answer is 11101 base 2. Now to question C, 1C. 1 plus 1 is 2. We cannot write it down straight. You see, 2 in 2 is 1, remainder 0. The one we carry, add it to this 0, making 1, add it to the 1, making 2. You cannot write the 2 down in base 2. So 2 in 2 is still 1, remainder 0. The one we carry, add it to this one, making 2, plus this 0, making 2 still. You cannot write the 2 down. The base in 2, that's 1, remainder 0. Still add this one to this one, making 2, to this one, making 3. The base 2 in 3 is 1, remainder 1. The one we carry here, add it to 0 here, making 1, plus 1, making 2. You cannot write the 2 down. So 2 in 2, 1, remainder 0. The one we carry, add it to this one, making 2. You cannot write it down straight. 2 in 2, 1, remainder 0. The one we carry, add it here to this last one, making 2. You cannot write the 2 down straight. You see, 2 in 2, 1, remainder 0. We have nothing here to operate again, but we carry 1, the last one here. So bring that one, put it at the back here. And that is the end in base 2. So answer is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 base 2. That is the end of that example 1. Now let's consider example 2. Calculate the following in their respective bases. Question A, 312 base 5 plus 143 base 5. Question B, 342 base 6 plus 433 base 6. Question C, 210 base 3 plus 222 base 3 plus 220 base 3. Let's start with the first one. Hey, 2 plus 3, that's 5. Don't forget you cannot just write 5 down here because you're operating base 5. So you cannot have digit 5 in base 5. So what do? You ask yourself, how many times do you have your base 5 in 5? That's 1 time, remainder 0. You have 5 in 5 once, remainder 0. So that once here, carry it, come and add it to 1 here, making 2. 2 plus 4, that's 6. How many times do you have your base 5 in 6? It's still 1. Remainder what? Remainder 1. Do you understand? So that one, you carry, add it here to 3, making 4. 4 plus 1, that's 5. You can still not write 5 down. You ask yourself, how many times do you have 5 in 5? It's 1. Remainder what? Remainder 0. So the one you carry last year, that is what you bring to the back here. So your answer is 1010 base 5. And that's the final answer for this. Let's consider question B. 2 plus 3, that is 5. We are free to write the 5 straight. Why? It's not up to the base 6 we are operating in. So 4 plus 3, that is 7. You cannot write down 7 because it is in base 6. So how many times do we have our base 6 in 7? That is 1. Remainder what? Remainder 1. When you have 6 in 7 one time, it will remain 1. So that 1 time, add it to 3 here, making 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. How many times do you have your base 6 in 8? That is 1 time. Remainder 2. You have 6 in 8, 1 time. Remainder 2. So the 1 time you have it here, bring it to the front. And that is the end. So answer is 1215 base 6. Lastly, 0 plus 2 plus 0, that is 2. And we are free to write it down straight because 2 is not up to the base 3 we are operating in. Let's say this happens to be 3. We can still not write the 3 down because we are operating in base 3. So don't forget. So come here, 1 plus 2 plus 2, that is 5. You cannot write down the 5. We are operating in base 3. You cannot write down a digit that will be equal or greater than the base we are operating in. So it must not be equal to it. It must not be greater than it. It must be less than the base. Each digit in a number must be less than the base of the number. 1 plus 2 plus 2, that's 5. How many times do we have 3 in 5? That is 1 time. Remainder 2. Do you understand? 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. How many times do we have 3 in 5? It's 1 time. Remainder 2. So this 1 time, add it to 2 here, making 3, to 2, making 5, to 2, making 7. How many times do we have these 3, our base? In 7. We have 3 in 7 twice. Remainder 1. This column is for remainder. Once what you have is greater than your base, then it is the remainder of it that you will have to write down in this column. So, we have 1. We carry 2 here. It is the 2 you bring to the front. So, answer is 2122 base 3. Do you understand sincerely? It's okay? So, that is that about addition of number bases. You should be able to add numbers together in any base by now.